Hi, this is Regina Y. Favors with a topic from the Toxic Encounters book. So, this is a topic on personality type and rebound relationships where I discuss this topic in chapter 1 of the book. The book is titled Toxic Encounters Why People Pursue Rebound Relationships, Part 1, and it is part 1 of a 3-part series. So I want to get into personality type because I usually discuss personality type in some of the articles that I write, as well as other audio lessons that I create. And personality type, I'm really referring to the big 5 personality traits, and they are, um, the acronym is NEOAC. So that's N for neuroticism, E for extraversion, O for openness to experience, A for agreeableness, and then C for conscientiousness. And so when you think about personality type and if there is a correlation to rebound relationships or the forming of a rebound relationship, you want to think about it in terms of your anxiety levels. That's what neuroticism would mean. Your extraversion, meaning whether you are outgoing, your openness to experience, meaning that you may be um, more open to another way of creating a relationship, a romantic relationship. Agreeableness, whether you as a partner would be agreeable to another partner who wants to, say, open the relationship to another person, or if there's low agreeableness, meaning that you prefer monogamy. And then conscientiousness, or conscientious, being conscientious is essentially hardy, um, being very organized, being focused on the task at hand and doing what's right because right is right. And so I want to look at personality type and link it to rebound relationship, because we understand that rebound relationships are essentially formed when a person is undergoing a recent breakup, and instead of taking some reflection time to grieve over the relationship, learn from it, and then close it out in someone's heart, in their heart, the person will pick up another relationship as a way to maintain the conveniences experienced in a previous relationship. So for example, people don't like gaps. If you are used to or accustomed to receiving sex, receiving your needs met, having a companion, um, and getting any other types of benefits and advantages as being a member of a romantic relationship, when you break up with someone, you're not going to want that to stop. And so oftentimes people make decisions out of fear, out of some form of anxiety, which would be neuroticism, because they don't want to stop what they have been accustomed to, what they have been conveniently experiencing, because it just becomes part of who they are. And when they pull at someone else, they don't always tell the person, the new partner, that that person is essentially a rebound. They create and form and sustain these relationships until the core partner decides to take them back. So you have Jane and John break up. Instead of John taking the time to grieve over the relationship or just close it out for good, he will go to a bar, meet a woman, probably have a one night stand, and maybe think that is it. It doesn't really become a rebound relationship until they extend that one night stand into some form of going out, hanging out, talking to each other, having more sex, spending time with each other in terms of she cooks for him and he takes her to the movies, and now it is forming into a relationship. But it's not a true relationship. It is really considered a rebound relationship because John is still preoccupied with the ex who is refusing to take him back. And so if he went down the whole big 5 personality trait gamut, he would pull at a rebound out of fear, out of some form of anxiety. Maybe he feels like he's not going to be able to continue to get the benefits of the previous relationship, so he seeks another relationship in order for him to continue to receive those benefits, and that's his neuroticism. And then he will be extroverted in terms of outgoing, because he's going to present the kind of face necessary, or the representative necessary at the bar, that basically says or suggests that he's open to experiences, or he's extroverted in terms of outgoing, but then open to the experience of maybe creating a new relationship. He's going to be agreeable because he's going to want to be able to receive the same types of benefits that he received in the previous relationship. So it's not going to make any sense for him to be difficult in that regard. And then he's going to make a conscientious effort to sustain whatever hold he has on that particular rebound, until he gets whatever he gets out of that relationship. And then when the core partner decides to come back and say, okay, I want the relationship, then he will try to drop the rebound. So this is what I want to discuss: personality type in the rebound relationship, which I discussed in chapter 1. And so I'm just going to read the questions and then add some analysis. What is the direct link between personality type and men and people in general pursuing a rebound relationship? What is the direct link between family background, childhood experience, and men, people pursuing a rebound relationship? So I've kind of made, I thought about the link in terms of the big 5 personality traits. And I haven't really researched the psychology scholarship on this topic yet. I've researched a lot of the rebound relationship scholarship, but not necessarily the link between personality type and rebound relationship, or the forming of a rebound relationship. So that's something that I might create as a research effort, as well as a research question. But there is a direct link in terms of the reasoning behind why someone would pursue a rebound relationship. Something is not working, or something is not working with the core partner. Their relationship is not working out. The person one person in the relationship might have cheated. And so the core partner decides, okay, I no longer want the relationship. But even when you think about cheating and the relationship is still on, to me, that is also seeking a rebound, even though there's no clear breakup, because cheating is a form of exit. It means to exit the relationship. And even if you are still in a relationship and you have, sort of deluded yourself to try to make it work, the fact that you had to envision cheating and then follow it up with action should tell you that you really want out of that relationship. Because if you didn't want out of the relationship, you wouldn't need to cheat. Now, cheating is not necessarily the topic of discussion. It is an example, but if you're looking at a link, the link could be cheating. That the link between the personality type and the rebound relationship could be the midway of cheating. So the personality type, the person is kind of anxious about something, right? And instead of discussing his anxiety or her anxiety with the other partner, say for instance, the person is struggling on his job, and he wants to make more money, but somehow he can't move up. Every time he tries to talk to his boss, the boss is not willing to elevate him so that he can make more money. So what he does instead is he finds a way to soothe himself in that area, to soothe his anxiety, to resolve his anxiety. Resolution of his anxiety would actually require him to sit down with his partner and talk about it, and talk about other options. He doesn't want to sit down with the partner for whatever reason. Maybe the partner is anxious about money, And so because of his own anxiety and her own anxiety, two anxieties or two neurotics coming together and trying to resolve this issue with money and moving up might create more problems, might um, cause one of the partners to say, let's end this relationship. And so basically, out of fear, no one talks about the elephant in the room. So because there's still the need to want to talk about the issue, one of the partners decides to step out of the relationship, meaning that they are now going to move themselves, move their head, their mind, their body, their finances, their sex out of the relationship and seek someone for the short term, because rebound relationships are short term mating strategies. They're going to seek someone for the short term to resolve whatever anxiety they feel. They still may not discuss the issue with the new person immediately, of course, because it is a rebound relationship, but they're going to eventually discuss it, because out of the sheer emotions that are connected to the feelings of inadequacy, not being able to live up to the standards that are required in the home, especially when it comes to financial standards. And so when he is lying in bed with the rebound, or when she is lying in bed with the rebound, the discussion about money is going to come up. And so what's going to happen in that situation, because um, the rebound is going to do one of those, well, I feel like you make a lot of money. I don't see why your wife has a problem with it. If she knows about the wife, I don't see why your wife has a problem with it. Or you have enough money. What's the big deal? Sometimes you just got to be happy where you are, and then you just kind of plan the next place. And so then he's going to be soothed by that, because he's not going to feel the immediate pressure to perform. With the rebound, he's not going to feel the immediate pressure to perform, to persuade, to impress. Right? He did all of his impressing when he met the person at the bar, and they went and had a one night stand, and he impressed her with his prowess or whatever he did in that moment. Well, he doesn't really care to impress her even more. That's not the goal. The goal is to resolve the feelings of inadequacy and get someone to validate him as being still a suitable partner, and the rebound is going to serve as that person to do that. So his personality type, being a neurotic, or feeling anxious about the fact that he's not making enough money, is what is leading him to decide to cheat. And the cheating is now further leading him to pursue a rebound relationship, a short-term mating strategy, so that he can resolve those immediate emotional, non-logical issues that he's feeling about not making enough money. So cheating then could be the link between the personality type and pursuit of a rebound relationship. So how could you resolve it? Cheating has to be something that you say is a deal breaker, because you cannot, because every time you feel inadequate, or every time you feel like there are issues with your partner, you can't go out and use cheating as a solution. So the direct link between personality type and pursuing a rebound relationship suggests that the person thinks that cheating is the best solution to the problem. Okay, that's not going to work long term. Eventually, you're going to have to make better adult decisions. So that could be something. So that means then, if you are cheating, you are also using finances to support the cheating habit, right? Because eventually it is going to become a habit until you begin to address your issues. So then the link between personality type and pursuing a rebound relationship could be financial instability. That could be the link. So your personality type, you might be too open to risk. right? Openness to experiences, agreeableness, extraversion. There may be too much risk that you are taking on. You are trying to make this decision of, say, investments, but you're not at a financially stable place in order for you to make those types of decisions. And so you might decide to take a risk in another area. You might pull out loans, take out loans. You might decide to get more credit cards, right? And the rebound in this case might not necessarily be a person. It might be rebounding to you developing a relationship that is not financially stable, with credit cards, with loans, with gambling. Gambling might be, if you're looking at the category of financial instability, well, there's a root cause to that, and it's usually what you have been exposed to, and it's definitely something that deals with your belief system. And so, why are you gambling? Why are you using gambling? Why are you creating a relationship with gambling? So, if you go back to the situation where the partner decides that he's not making enough money, and so he wants to make enough money, and he cares about his relationship with his current partner, the core partner, whether she's a wife or long-term partner, he's going to do all he can to try to impress that person because he wants that relationship. Take cheating off the table for a minute and just look at the fact that he comes from a background of financial instability. He grew up in, say, an economically distressing neighborhood. His mother and father didn't always keep a job, or they had a job and it was short term, and so they kind of grew up poor. And so then he has that image in his head of a child growing up poor and saying to himself, I don't want to be that type of person when I become an adult. So that fuels a lot of his decision making. It goes back to neuroticism. It goes back to extraversion, openness to experience, agreeableness, conscientious. So he's not agreeable with his background, but it's almost like he creates the very same background that he doesn't like. So if he doesn't, even if he's in a situation where he's making a little bit more money than what his parents did, he'll find a way to lose it somehow. And then that might push him to go to the casinos. That might push him to play the lottery. That might push him to take out loans excessively, take out a lot of credit cards. And so then the issue with financial instability is based in a belief system about how money is made, how money is earned, how money is used, consumed. There's no savings plan. There's no emergency plan if something should happen. Money is not placed into investment instruments, retirement instruments of any kind. So he's basically living day by day. And so when you have that mindset, you're not going to be financially stable because you're not thinking 10, 15, 20 years ahead. So when he gets to his retirement age, he's not going to have any savings. He's not going to have anything. And he would basically have to work a great deal of his life. And so then the financial instability link between personality type and pursuing a rebound relationship, we're not necessarily saying then that he's pursuing a person as a short-term mating strategy. He might be using credit cards, gambling, and loans, payday loans, title loans as a way to form a rebound relationship, because those are considered not necessarily people, but those are short-term mating strategies or short-term strategies that a person will use to try to solve a larger problem of financial instability. And eventually he's not going to be able to pay those loans, pay those credit cards, pay those payday loans, title loans, because the money that he makes is not going to be enough to sustain him in those areas. in terms of the basics, meaning your shelter costs, right? And any other costs related to you being an adult. And then any of this uh, extra stuff that is going to cut into the finances. So then the link there, of course, is um, using gambling um, to sort of solve a problem based in a faulty belief system connected to financial instability. So those are two examples, one being cheating as a link between personality type and pursuing a rebound relationship where the person is actually a person, and then financial instability that creates a gambling link between personality type and pursuing a rebound relationship. And the rebound relationship is not necessarily a person, it is the thing that you create, um, the relationship that you create that's short term based in this belief system that you need this in order for you to resolve this immediate issue with financial instability. So then what is the direct link between family background, childhood experience, and men people pursuing a rebound relationship? So then if you go back to that person's childhood and what the person was exposed to in his or her childhood, you're going to see why they make the decisions that they make concerning money, or why they make the decisions that they make concerning uh, what they experienced in childhood. So for instance, if we extend the conversation from cheating and financial instability to the concept of rejection, like you might have been the scapegoated black sheep person of the family, and every decision that you make from that vantage point and rooted belief system is going to be one of pulling at anything and anybody to soothe yourself in that area. Again, it goes back to the personality type: neuroticism, extraversion, openness to experience, agreeableness, conscientiousness. So then if you struggle with rejection, you may end up, you might develop an addictive personality that might push, because you are trying to please the very person who is rejecting you. And when you realize you cannot please that person, or you may not come to that realization until much later in life, uh, but in that moment you are still looking to be soothed in that area because you are feeling rejection. So most people will hook up with someone who also has an addictive personality, and that person would be the person who introduces one of the people to drugs, to alcoholism, because all you have to do is take that one puff or drink that one swig of liquor, and it goes down and it goes up your nose and it goes into your internal system, and it hits those areas of your brain and your body, and you feel soothed. So that's your the link between family background and you pursuing a rebound relationship could be the rejection that you have felt all those years from childhood to adulthood, and you seek out the different types of people who look like you, who are just a mirror image of you, and so you both come together. Those are rebound relationships as well. See, you don't always have to have a romantic rebound relationship. You can have friendships. You can have family members who pull at you when they are not doing well, and when they start doing well, they push you away. It's that push away strategy. You can have people who keep you at arm's length. They don't want a relationship with you, but whatever you got in that moment, they are jealous and envious of what you got, and so they will send their representative, put on this manipulation act, try to manipulate you, try to get you to give over what you got so they can have it. It's not that they always want it. It's not that they always need it. They just don't want you to have it. And so rejection is a very interesting link that I didn't think about until I started this audio, because I have been thinking about it in terms of my own personal childhood experiences and how I was the scapegoated person in my family. I was the one who was always pushed away. I was the one who always had to be kicked out to my stepfather's house. And then my mother would do one of those, okay, when you come back, we're going to go shopping and everything's going to be better. Just come on back. And then it'll go good for a minute. And then after that, she'll get into some kind of mood of hers, provoke the situation in the house so much it becomes an emotional, destructive, hostile environment. And then I would have to call my stepfather again, and he would have to come pick me up. I'd stay with him for a minute, and then she would repeat the same patterns all over again. When you come back, everything be better. Just come on back. And so her rejection from the time I was a child all the way until I left the house has always been with me. I just didn't know that it was called rejection. And then a response to that rejection was always people pleasing. And the people pleasing became something that I became cognizant of when I was in college. But I was people pleasing because it was obvious that you had to obey your parents. And so that's a link also between family background, childhood experiences, and pursuing a rebound relationship. That because of that rejection, you create a solution of people pleasing. And so then that links between the childhood experiences and rebound relationships, and add personality types as well. And when you leave the home, you're not leaving the home as a fully developed individual. You may be physically fully developed, but your mind is not. There are so many damaged, destructive belief systems that are housed within your brain and within your heart and mind and spirit, that it shows up in your finances, it shows up in the relationships that you pull at, it shows up in abusive relationships that you form and sustain. And until you get a clue about what's really going on, and that you have every right to live life without getting abused and without being homeless and without living a financially unstable life, until that happens, you will continue to pursue a rebound relationship. And so then if you are rejected in one area of your life, you're going to seek to be rejected in other areas of your life until you get healed. So that's also a direct link between family background, childhood experiences, and people pursuing rebound relationships. If you see a man consistently pursuing a rebound relationship, and maybe we should put it in the context of a man who is loose, and he's loose in the streets, and he continues to seek relationships that are short term, there's something going on in the family dynamic that he was exposed to. Because you do what you know. He might have seen that portrayed through an uncle, through a father who was supposed to be a husband, but he was having affairs and living at the affair partner's house. He might have seen it in his brothers, his uncles, and his older brothers might have encouraged him. So now he's loose in the streets. He might have been molested, raped, sexually molested. Same thing with the woman if she's pursuing rebound relationships. When you think about the prostitute is seeking rebound relationships. Those are individual short-term mating strategies that last for whatever period they last, whether it's a quickie, whether it's a escort situation, whether it's an hour, whether it's in a hotel room, and some can turn into long-term partner dynamics where the man just comes and does what he does and leaves money on the table. Okay, those are really rebound relationships. And so if she's prostituting and selling her body, somewhere she was exposed to that in her childhood. Somewhere her mother might have dressed her up so her boyfriend could have sex with her daughter. There's a lot that's going on in these relationship dynamics that has a lot to do with childhood experiences and what you've been exposed to, because you do what you know. You don't see everybody prostituting, selling themselves, stripping, right? It is some sort of rooted belief system forced upon the person initially, and that the person, once that person got became an adult, decided to sustain it. And so that goes back to the personality type, the fear, because if you are prostituting, it's based in fear. No one as a child says when they says as a child when they grow up they want to become a prostitute. I'm sorry. No one says that they want to become a drug dealer. It's some kind of external belief system imparted, influenced upon the person to think in that kind of light. People usually say, I want to become a doctor, I want to become a teacher, I want to become a lawyer, I want to become a nurse. They do all that kind of stuff. They dress up like they are a doctor. They try to doctor their bears and dolls. They try to doctor their siblings. They try to teach their siblings. They do all the types of things that they are envisioning in their head, but they never envision walking uh, on the streets as a prostitute. And this is not to knock anyone who is in a particular area of their life. This is just to call attention to the fact that there is a link between childhood experiences and the pursuit of a rebound relationship. Because again, um, that act of prostituting and meeting Johns is a form of rebounding between different folks. You're not seeking a long-term relationship. You're not seeking a marriage. You're seeking a short-term mating strategy that includes sex. Sometimes it can include talking, but uh, what you are doing in your adult life has some link to what you were exposed to or did or was forced to or was molested in your childhood experiences. So that's what I want you to think about in terms of personality type and rebound relationships, which is explored in chapter 1. So toxic encounters, why people pursue rebound relationships, part 1, is available on Amazon. You can visit my website, reginayfavors.com. Like, subscribe, and follow, so you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. Just type in my name, Regina Y. Favors. Thank you very much for listening.